There's a viral call out for an artist that sells at a lot of conventions. So let's take a look at this. This call out is written by Janelle Jumalon and it reads, "If you are a regular at conventions, I'm sure you run into a booth named Salami Productions. This booth is run by a man named Marco. Marco regularly booths at artist alleys and has woven art displayed all over their booth alongside spicy stickers. I've actually seen Marco's booth at multiple conventions." So Janelle adds, "Before we begin this deep dive, for those who prefer to read in a Google Doc format." So I'll read it to you in that format. What you probably don't know is that Marco is not the artist. Marco is a con artist, and there's been a growing sentiment against Marco internally within Artist Alley at conventions and his company Salami Productions for the following detailed reasons. So the good, finding the real artist. To apply for Artist Alley booths at conventions like Anime NYC, San Japan, and KawaiiCon, conventions Marco has sold at, the physical artists have to be there. Marco is not the artist. He is a proxy seller. Marco claims to make the art present at Salami production booths, and that is what he tells convention coordinators, the internet, and attendees. So here's his description for Gen Con, where it says, "I'm a big fan of a bunch of IPs, and we sell Magic Proxy trading cards with my artwork of popular court cards from many different decks. Woven art as blankets, high-quality sunproof canvases, and tournament legal-sized TCG playmats." In response to a commenter on Instagram who commented AliExpress blankets, Marco writes, "We have a team that weaves these all in North Carolina. It is also all of my own art." And yeah, if you look at a con like Anime Expo, which Marco has sold at, in the Artist Alley reminders, it says subsidiary artists are not allowed. All goods sold at the table must solely be the work of the artist that purchased the Artist Alley table package. So the dot continues, "Unfortunately, Marco doesn't make the art and cites himself as designer, editor, and distributor. The bulk of Salami productions come from the following artists: Pamonia slash Pamonhart, Rayvash, Larenya, Rinko-san, Axelmane, Knight, and Bayuxman. All of these artists deserve to be properly credited. However, finding attribution and credit through Salami Productions is virtually non-existent." And by the way, if I didn't say it already, don't send hate to any parties involved, both Janelle, Marco, and the artist listed. But here you can see a list of pieces that Marco sells. So the doc adds, "The bad, sketchy as F. At Anime NYC 2025, Marco applied under another account, Nakama Central. He applied for a Nakama Central booth under the name Dom Duran. Despite applying under a different account and a different name, Marco advertised Salami Production on their socials as being in the Artist Alley for Anime NYC 2025. So here you can see on their Instagram post about it. And that is where there's that AliExpress blankets comment. That's definitely interesting if it is true that he applied under a different name and artist name, because what is the reasoning for that? The doc continues, "Because these artists are largely uncredited and Marco is rarely front-facing on social media, he has been able to get away with telling conventions that he or another individual is the artist. Never had any of the artists actually attended the conventions the Salami production booths at. Marco has been caught lying to convention coordinators that either he is the artist or the artist was unable to attend due to things like COVID. Marco has been in the Artist Alley at major conventions like Anime NYC and Anime Expo, all of which have strict no proxy policies. And I just read to you earlier the Anime Expo one. In addition to non-existent accreditation, there have been zero evidence of Marco paying ethical wages to the artists he outsources, outside of what Marco himself claims. Most evidence shows that Marco commissioned artists for cheap." This is a post that Pamonia made in a subreddit called r/hungry artists, where their full body price is listed at $150 with a background for additional $50. And this is a post that Pamonia has posted to their ArtStation, which is the same piece that is being sold at Salami Productions. Now, to be fair, these prices that Pamonia has posted for their commissions may not be what Marco has paid them. Marco could have paid them more or less. There is possible evidence that some of the Salami Productions art may be stolen from artists without their permission. Rayvash seems to consistently label their pieces when they are commissions, and several of what is present on Marco's site doesn't have the corresponding commission statement on Rayvash's ArtStation. So here's an example. Rayvash is extremely talented, and in their ArtStation, and I'm not going to be able to pronounce this name correctly at all, but they list this as a commission. And here is a piece that's being sold at Salami Productions, which is made by Rayvash, listed as Futaba Sakura from Persona 5, and it doesn't have that same titling. Again, benefit of doubt, just because somebody didn't title it a commission doesn't mean it didn't have to be a commission. The ugly, bullying and sex. Marco is somebody I have known for a few years now, someone I once called a friend. However, over the past year, many other artists have reached out to me about his problematic behavior, and I have since cut ties with him. Marco has since proceeded to run a smear campaign against me to convention coordinators. I have had multiple conventions confirm that Marco was claiming I use AI for my work because of an article from 2022 talking about AI as a potential tool for artists. I've been transparent about my AI use in 2022 and since have been a vocal advocate against Gen AI and pushing for artist rights. I mean, my 2 cents sucks that they used AI in the past, but they grew, they learned, they realize that it's really bad for artists, and if they are currently advocating against Gen AI and pushing for artist rights, that's good. The doc continues, ironically, during a proxy investigation at San Japan, the convention found evidence that Marco was using AI for some of the Salami production catalog art. And this is the art piece. This looks like Maiden from Nikkei, but I'm not like fully sure. And in order to really tell if it's AI or not, it would need to be a larger image, so it's a bit hard to tell. With that said, many artists have come to me in private talking about the problems they've experienced with Marco. I will not be sharing any screenshots or disclosing the names of these individuals due to their personal nature unless given direct permission. But it lists that Marco has bullied artists to raise their prices, actively caught telling attendees that his machine woven art is hand woven, threatened to copy another artist's work and put it up as art for his booth, attempted to file a restraining order on an artist because he felt threatened, and harassed women and pressured them into sleeping with them. And these are just what individual artists who felt safe enough to talk to me have shared. My own staff witnessed firsthand Marco bullying his neighbors at other conventions and encroaching on their paid-for booth space. I've heard his own employees apologizing to other artists for some of Marco's actions. Now, why does this matter? The Artist Alley spaces that Salami Productions has occupied through false representation could have gone to an actual human artist. Conventions like Anime Expo make up a significant chunk of an artist's income that could pay for months' worth of bills and allow the artist to continue making beautiful art. The amount of artists that have reached out to me about Marco regarding the problems they have with him built up to a point where I couldn't stay silent. Many of them are victims or have witnessed others be abused or harassed due to Marco's actions. A lot of people are afraid of him. And many artists have wanted to speak up, but a lot of the drama is staying internal to Artist Alley for fear of causing a ripple and losing access to the events they need to pay bills. And that absolutely sucks, but it is what happens a lot of cases where people are afraid to speak up due to the fear of being seen as a problematic individual. And it sucks, but in many cases, organizations, etc., higher-ups will choose to throw out the person that spoke out rather than the person who's inflicting these damages, if it is true, right? Because it's easier, and I hate that. The doc adds, Marco is someone I gave a lot of resources to early on, and I feel I have the weight and personal responsibility to be the first to bring this into the open, especially when so many artists trusted in sharing with me screenshots, DMs, and other accounts. Additionally, Marco has recently opted to create a smear campaign against me to convention coordinators. Fortunately, many have reached out to me personally, informing me of what was going on. He has recently blamed me for Salami Productions getting kicked out of Anime Iowa about a month ago. Marco DM'd Janelle stating that they wanted to reach out because they were told by multiple people that rumors were spreading that Janelle reported them to Anime Iowa and got them kicked out for the foreseeable futures. And that Marco wanted to talk to them privately about this because they see them as a friend. So Janelle writes, I will go on the record stating I had nothing to do with him getting kicked out at Anime Iowa. He harassed the convention coordinator, which directly resulted in his removal. I didn't respond to the message because I've been trying my best to cut ties from Marco and Salami Productions. However, I feel that continuing to be silent about his abuse and lies when so many people have reached out to me at this point would be irresponsible and a disservice to the Artist Alley community most of us are trying to build and maintain. So what can you do? It's pretty simple. Support working human artists, follow independent artists, share their art, buy merch from them directly or through venues where they're being ethically paid. The best thing you can do at conventions is support them financially, and even if you don't have money, a simple social media follow or like could make someone's day. Giving space back to an artist is a huge win. We make art because we love the process. Janelle shares a sentiment that we make art because we love the process, to try to make the world a beautiful place and to cope. And most importantly, we make art because we love art. So at the very end of the document, Janelle adds photos of linking the pieces back to the actual artist, with again, this piece being Pomonia's, this piece also being Pomonia's, this piece also being Pomonia's, the Makima piece belonging to an artist by the name of Axel VFX, this piece belonging to Rinko-san, this piece belonging to Lorenia. So this piece is Ray Vosh's and the following ones. So Bayuxman tweets, hello everyone, just a reminder, if you'd like to support my work by purchasing prints, I need to let you know that the only 2 stores I partner with and send me a percentage of sales are Waifu Prison and Nico Decal. Any store that sells prints of my work doesn't have my permission. And Janelle adds, Salami Productions sticker catalog, as of September 3rd, contained a lot of BYXM's art. So after that situation, Salami Productions / Marco went on their Instagram page to make a series of posts stating their side. So this is a post by an account by the name of Suxy, And they write, "Hello everyone. I would like to speak about my experience with Salami Productions from my past couple of years of working with him. From the time I've known Marco, I've never seen or heard a mention of AI usage or stolen artwork for any of his projects, stickers, or blankets. When we first started our contract agreement, he was upfront on paying us and how the usage of our designs would be used. We were paid on time, we were sent constant inventory reports, and no designs of ours were ever stolen." And the graphic reads, "Our sticker partnership had a great one with Suxy, but it's come to an end. However, serious issues regarding provided sticker designs have been brought to our attention." And the caption reads, "Hello, this is Marco. Another update as rumors continue to circulate about my company and I stealing art. As for the rumors about the sticker company I partnered with alongside for the past couple of years, named Suxy, or Suxy, we had a contract providing me the commercial rights to sell their designs from different artists at shows. I had to keep track of inventory reports, monthly payments, and manufacturing. Our contract has now been terminated. See photo 1. One of the artists, Bioxman, was part of Suxy's studio. Nothing has been stolen, and all the terms, including compensation as outlined in our contract, were met on time with Suxy. Bioxman and I have been having private talks behind the scenes about being allowed to continue selling his work at Salami." So this is the DM where Bioxman says, "Hello, my supporters have informed me that your store is selling prints featuring my art. Of course, I won't be a hypocrite and tell you to stop doing this, as I also make money from third-party character art. And I also see that you don't use any of my OCs in your prints. Thank you very much for that. But I would be very happy if you chose to support me with at least a percentage, just a symbolic amount, of the sales of prints featuring my work, just as I do with the stores I partner with. Feel free to support me if you like." And they add their PayPal. And on the graphic, Marco writes, "Bioxman is greenlighting Salami moving forward to carry his designs. We are furthering talks about getting him a fair cut of proceeds to support his work now that we're transitioning from our former partnership with Suxy, who originally provided us with Bioxman's designs." So maybe things got a little bit backwards, but I'm confused because Bioxman said that they only partner with two stores, Waifu Prison and Nico Decal. There was no mention of Suxy, but maybe their partnership with Suxy ended a while ago. How long after, if their partnership ended, did Suxy hang on to the artwork to then feed to Salami Productions? You know what I mean? So the caption continues, "According to Suxy, another artist from their studio we received art from was Seta or Theruspic. However, I was made aware today that multiple of Suxy's designs were traced or taken straight from official sources. This includes designs that trace back to Seta, according to Suxy. Upon hearing this, we have effectively immediately removed these designs and have immediately stopped selling them. Earlier, when I began my studio, I directly worked with Seta. I purchased the commercial selling rights to multiple of his pieces." So these are conversations where Marco said, "How much do you sell your commercial rights for? For them, I would be able to get them both with and without their backgrounds." And Seta says, "Only the most current of Mona, the others are old." And then here is the complete drawing. So then there's some more photos sent. And then Marco said, "Yep, that looks good. When I start posting about your work joining our collection, can I say that you're joining our team and people can expect to see more of your art with us moving forward? I definitely will be buying, commissioning more in the future from you." And Seta said, "No problem." Seta says it would be a pleasure to keep working, and they say, "We have a deal. You can leave me your PayPal email and I can send an invoice to finish." Marco writes, "I had broken off my involvement with Seta shortly after we began commission work together. During my second commission piece, I stopped receiving updates and was ghosted mid-progress, even though I paid upfront for additional projects to be completed." So here you can see between the window of February 13th, 2024 to June 29th, 2024, Marco has been bumping Seta the entire time for work, being like, "Oh, are you doing okay? Want to check in?" And they just got completely ghosted. Marco continues, "I had thought at the time he had only taken my money and ran. I only now realize, according to Suxy, it was much worse. To summarize, the Suxy designs in question, as well as Seta's collection, will henceforth be removed from the Salami shop in case further designs go against our values." So these are pieces that will be removed and more pieces that will be removed. Marco adds, "I, without a doubt in my mind, to my full knowledge, I have zero AI or stolen art pieces in my shop. I stand on integrity and will gladly remove all designs that go against artists. Thank you for sharing the truth and tremendous support as these rumors continue to spread." So Marco then adds this update adding, "Hello, this is Marco. At this time, we've had another two artists in our studio make statements addressing the false rumors spreading about our company. Both of them are major artists through the community. Ray Vosh is one of the main artists for Salami Productions, best known for his realism designs like Rias and Dark Magician Girl. And as mentioned in our first pinned post, he's the lead artist for our sister studio, Nakama Central." And Ray Vosh adds, "I haven't posted in a while because I was unwell, but due to recent events with one of my associates, I'm here to inform you about the allegations made against Salami Productions. I'm an official artist at Salami Production Studios and Nakama Central as well, for more than a year. My art hasn't been stolen by Salami Productions and Nakama Central in any way. Every piece that I made for them has been paid in a fair manner as I agreed to be shared and sold. I have worked closely with Salami, sharing ideas and discussing most of my work with him through the process, giving me his guidance and support as artistic director. In every piece we create together, we have never used AI or any kind. We don't need it and we don't support it. Last but not least, I'm more than happy to be a part of Salami Production Studios and our partnerships. And Marco writes, Rinko-san is also a major artist for Salami Productions too. Her art with our studio has captivated tens of thousands, if not more, with her take on Albedo, Luffy, and the lead Baldur's Gate 3 characters. And Rinko writes, I'm posting this to clarify the terrible situation that has developed against Salami Productions. I am an artist, Rinko-san, and have been working with Salami Productions for over 3 years. And I am always very pleased with the cooperation. There have been and remains a good attitude and mutual understanding. During this time, we haven't had a single conflict. The payment was timely and agreed upon, which completely satisfied both parties. Even if there was a delay in work on my part, it was always perceived with understanding and without conflict. None of the work created by me or in collaboration with Salami Productions is AI. Salami Productions never forced me to work. There was no intimidation or anything like that. They never stole my work. Everything happened by mutual agreement after the agreed amount, and everything was always paid on time. They never refused the requested price increase if I asked. I am very happy to be an official artist of the Salami Production Studio. So Marco writes, now rumors suggest I've stolen dozens of pieces from Revash and don't pay him, and it's 100% false. Rinko-san has also provided her statement, and we've worked together the longest. I hope that our team of artists standing together in solidarity against the onslaught of false rumors in our studio, you will see through the ruse for what it is. Understand, spreading these false rumors about our studio hurts all of us. You aren't helping any of the artists by allowing the false rumors to spread like wildfire. We all at Salami Productions kindly ask, if you hear something, say something. Misinformation like these false rumors can kill a business. Don't be a part of a sham. The truth, like snow, always lands on top. Marco and Salami artists. And then Marco makes another post, writing, hello, this is Marco. Many of you have probably heard rumors spread about my company, Salami Productions, and I over the last 24 hours. I stayed quiet during this time to collect myself and get the truth compiled. I am the designer for Salami Productions. I have never said otherwise. I've designed many of the pieces in my shop alongside some extremely talented artists. The artists, a part of Salami Productions, have been making their statements regarding the false rumors. So we have a statement from Pomonia stating, I'm here to make a statement about the allegations that were made against Salami Productions about my artwork and how they treat me. I'm an official artist at Salami Production Studios and have been working with them for years. Salami Productions has not stolen any of the art. In our partnership, all of the artworks used in commercial goods are paid and agreed to be sold in such a media. All the artworks are paid upon agreement. There's no requested work without charge. There's no forced work. All the art that I make for Salami Productions is made with intention. Salami Productions has always been transparent about what my art would be used for. Salami is a big part of the process of each work. He's the art director and we spend weeks, if not months, just to complete a single piece. We are a team and I'm proud to be part of Salami Productions Studios. None of the work I made for Salami Productions was made with Gen AI of any kind, and we despise the use of it. On a complete side note, I just think it's interesting how everybody who made a statement has a statement that sounds kind of similar in terms of the wording and like the points they hit. It kind of reminds me of when a lawyer is coaching their clients to be like, oh, make sure you don't say this, make sure you say this, like da 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 da, like with the bullet point format too. So here another artist, Cheheim on Twitter writes, I'm Cheheim, one of the illustrators commissioned by Salami Productions. To respond to the circulating issues, I would like to give my honest statement as an artist working with the owner and artistic director itself. I've been working with him since 2021, and from my experience, 1, all the artworks were created under commission, never stolen or misused. 2, I've always been paid according to our agreements before starting each project. 3, I've never been forced to work against my will. That said, my role has only been in providing illustrations as commissioned. I am not involved in, nor do I have information regarding matters outside this scope. Thank you for understanding. So Marco continues, I have never stolen art. I have always paid fair wages to my artists and none of us use AI. More of our artist statements are to follow, but due to the urgency, I decided to post my statement now with a couple of them, including 2 from our lead artists, Pomonia and Cheheim. All of the artists are people who live busy lives like you and I, and it's fair to give them time. Update posts will be made. We are a studio and have always been one. It was actually publicly posted close to the beginning of my career in conventions. It was posted in the same Discord community where many of these false rumors are coming from. As for the rumors about AI, one of our featured artists, Lorenia, is the same artist who drew the piece that was rumored to be AI as San Japan. However, this was drawn by her in 2023. My studio purchased the exclusive commercial rights to this piece and most of her other semi-real art pieces. None of the work is AI or stolen. Regarding our sister company Nakama Central, it's just that, a sister studio that has taken the mantle to spearhead the art by Revash. We have a selection of his work with Salami, but the entire collection can be purchased through Nakama. None of his work is stolen or AI. We have also purchased the exclusive commercial rights to most of his entire collection. Salami Productions, like many others applying to Anime NYC, were waitlisted. Nakama Central was accepted, and through the Anime NYC policy, both Salami and Nakama applied to booth share and were accepted by administration to do so. No one snuck in or used a fake business name. So Salami adds in the comments, I'll be direct with these last false rumors. To my knowledge, I have never bullied, threatened, or harassed anyone in any way. I asked one artist to raise their prices because their art genuinely deserved to have a higher price tag. Their art was compared to our studio often, but so were their prices, which had customers ask us to price match or trade our item for theirs. I wanted these requests to stop and thought encouraging another artist to be proud of their work and raise their prices would be a good solution. I realized they misconstrued my request. As for the rumors about my former proxies who'd run the booth, they were either terminated or left of their own will, seemingly as disgruntled contractors. Lastly, prior to the spread of these false rumors, Salami had already been in the process since the beginning of the year to transition out of Artist Alley and into vendors. It's been a move we've been excited about. Most of the following year, our shows are already primarily exclusively in vendor sections. Now that we've grown so much, we felt it was time to make the move and make space for a new artist studio in the Artist Alley. Thank you for taking time to read this. This is the truth. I hope you share this truth like how so many fervently choose to share false rumors. This is the art piece that was accused of being AI, and then this is a post from Lorenia, and it was posted April 4th, 2023. And then this is an email from Nakama Central adding, so to clarify, Salami Productions is allowed to table share with me at Anime NYC. And the Artist Alley says, yes, that is correct. And then about selling in Artist Alley, like, a lot of Artist Alley, like you've seen, have a rule where proxies aren't allowed. And if you are selling artwork that other people have made, you're allowed to do that in the vendor booth section. It's like the exhibitor hall, etc. Artist Alley is reserved typically for artists. So by being there and you're not the actual artist, you do take a slot that somebody else could have taken, an artist who made the work themselves, when you could have been in the exhibitor section because there is a section for you. So maybe Marco didn't know and thus was boothing in the Artist Alley without realizing it. Or worst case scenario, he knew that and actively chose to vend there under the false pretense that, he was the artist, or making it seem with plausible deniability that he was the artist. Or the Nakama Central one, it's just kind of interesting because on one hand, it's like, okay, it is like a sister company, so maybe it's a separate company, even though it looks like you guys sell the same thing. Marco said it's focused on Rivash's work, and Rivash is extremely talented, but Rivash's work, from what it seems like, is also sold under Salami Productions, so there's a bit of a gray area here. And if you look at it like from one side, it could be somebody who's trying to maybe game the convention system, lottery system a little bit, because not everyone gets selected. So, if you have like two companies, you can essentially enter twice to try to get in when like an artist who just is themselves with their name only gets one entry into the same lottery. Is it horrible to do that? You could debate the ethics of that, but if it is like a sister company, there's again gray area there. For the alleged AI rumor, I feel like there would need to be more substantial proof to that, because in Janelle's document they did state that it was confirmed to be AI, so I would like to see the confirmation for that. And then regarding the accusations about them as a person, until people step forward, it's a bit hard to tell because it's always going to be like a he said, she said, where these anonymous individuals have allegedly stated that Marco is a questionable individual. And then, of course, Marco himself is not going to agree to that. So he's like, no, I didn't do such a thing. And without like more people coming forward, it's always going to be hard to tell. So what are your thoughts? It's like a really big gray area of a messy situation here. Their card is down, which is interesting. I think for me, the final thing, at least, that I'm like, oh, this is kind of interesting, is that like, if you position your brand as like an artist brand, because you are selling in the Artist Alley, Marco said that they're now transitioning to be in the vendor section, but they've been in the Artist Alley years prior. I found them in the Artist Alley. I would just hope that like the artists would also be like credited fairly, and this is a web archive of their website, which is currently not available. But if you do look, we do have all of this gorgeous artwork, and the artists who made them are not attributed in any way. Maybe you could click onto it. No, actually you cannot. Like none of the artists are attributed in any way, so it's always a bit confusing as to where the art came from. I mean, personally, I remember walking by the booth, looking at all the art, being like, oh, it's pretty, I want to get one. oh, the art looks really different between all the pieces. So I don't know if one person made it or multiple. So I was like, oh, I don't know. I'll like look around, and then I forgot, because Artist Alley is so like, because in the Anime Expo Artist Alley, there's a lot of stuff going on. So forgot. But I think it would be really nice to give actual attribution to the actual artist. I mean, even with like really big IPs like Pokemon, the artist is listed in the corner of the card. Lorcana, the artist name is listed in the corner, so that we can give like the full credit to the artist where it's due. And of course, in many companies, they will purchase the licensing for the art and the commercial rights to use it. And the artist doesn't get to like put their name on it because that was part of the agreement of what was done. And it does make sense for companies that aren't as like artist forward, but that need a little bit of art. Like Nike, when they need a new graphic, the graphic designer often is not credited because Nike is like a athletic brand first and foremost. So that's like the agreement you have. But if you are an artist focused brand, you mainly only sell art, it would be really nice to see some credit there. So maybe the reason why the website is down is because they're working on it. Who knows? But would love to hear your thoughts about this entire situation. Do you think Janelle is somebody who's butthurt about this like harassment campaign and thus is kind of like trying to one up it? Do you think Marco is completely innocent in this entire situation? Do you think Marco is an absolute villain? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And when you leave your thoughts, please be respectful because these are actual people and don't send harassment to the artists involved. Look, artists already struggle to make money in this world and industry as it is, so let's not be doing that. But anyways, if you like this video, I appreciate it if you like and subscribe. Don't forget to check me out on Etsy. I sell digital art there for streamers and creators like emotes and overlays. I also have a coffee with free resources like a free sponsorship guide, and I stream on Twitch 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays at 6 p.m. PST. I'm also going to be going on vacation, so I'll be going to Japan, Singapore, and Shanghai, so I'll be having a lot of fun. But if in my future videos the background and settings change, that's why. So anyways, I hope you guys like this video, and I hope to catch you guys in another one. Peace.